Hello everyone, welcome dear guest from New York. Morka was in New York this winter for 3 months. She likes New York a lot, especially Manhattan and dog runs. And she has a Facebook page, so guys, you can join facebook.com mork'n'roll. It's like rock and roll, just mork'n'roll. And okay, she wanna do open presentation of Patrick. Yep.
Just 1 minute. This is very important.
She's excited.
Okay, so here's the introduction to Patrick Davidson.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right. Okay. Whew. Let me start by saying hi. I am an imposter. But before I talk about being an imposter and what that means for me, we should back up, and we should start properly from the very beginning. So hi, my name is Patrick Davidson, and the title of my talk today is The Online Animal Economy, but I've added a new subtitle. So the talk is really called The Online Animal Economy and the People Who Come from the Internet. I should also say that when Vaidatas asked me to speak here, he told me, you have 45 minutes. And 45 minutes is pretty new for me. I'm used to only having 10 minutes to discuss like way too many ideas. So I'm used to talking as fast as possible. And so I've told myself that my slogan for today is talk slow. So hopefully I can stick to that. But now we're gonna go even further back in time. So I was born in the US, and when I was a kid, I was lucky enough to live in a house with a series of early modems and early personal computers, and my dad brags that I could use the computer by myself when I was 4. When I got to high school, I started to use AOL and Instant Messenger, I think mostly just to flirt with girls, but also email. And I'm pretty sure that my usernames were very embarrassing things. But speaking of embarrassing, by the time I got to college, I made my first website. And thankfully that website has been lost to the vortex of history, so no one will ever see it. By 2007, I moved to NYC and started making digital media for money. And then 2 years later, in 2009, I worked with 2 of my friends, who are Steve Bruckert and Mike Rugnetta, pictured here, to do a show called Meme Factory. So by this time, all 3 of us were living in Brooklyn, and we'd spent a lot of time online. And we'd seen countless hilarious things there. And we were constantly surprised because we would go up to other people in New York and we'd be like, oh man, have you seen this newest internet meme? It's so funny. And they would just be like, no, we have no idea what you're talking about. And so we realized that all of these things that we loved and we spent all this time with, no one knew about these things. And so our idea was that we could cram as many people as possible into a room, and we could set up 3 projectors, and then we could just give them the fastest and most frantic lecture about internet memes so that we could educate them, and then they would know what we were talking about later at the coffee shop or whatever. And it went pretty well. The first one we did was in an art space in Brooklyn, and we just sort of propped the projectors up on some pieces of wood in the back of this photo studio. And at night, we talked about as many different parts of the web culture as we could. And so this included, I'm going to show you some of the things we talked about that night. So we talked about lolcats, of course. I would bet that you guys are pretty familiar with lolcats. It's pretty straightforward. We also talked about advice dog, the other end of the animal spectrum. And I heard you guys actually have your own version of this one. I don't know, I can't read this. But we also talked about Crank That, the Soulja Boy internet dance craze. I don't know if you guys are familiar. Oh, do we have some audio here? EP Bird, Diet Coke, and Mentos videos.
Tap, 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 no.
Okay. These are actually, I don't know if you guys have seen these slowed down Apple ads. This is like, well, we'll just, okay, hold on.
What do you think the greatest gift of the holidays is? Internet? I'd say internet. Yes, absolutely. It's of course as easy as it's always been. You get an iMac, 10 minutes out of the box, you're on the internet. But now, Apple gives you your own personal website. You can post your photographs for all your family to see all over the world, and your iMovies. And now you're the purveyor of, you're the generator of, you're the author of great stuff. Isn't it nicer to give than to receive?
It's really, the video gets me every time when he's like, I'd say internet. We also talked about Magabon. She is famous for doing nothing. See, a lot of people have, well, anyway. We also talked about tilt shift photos, so like, look how small these people look. We also talked about animated GIFs. To be fair, all the animated GIFs we showed in that original show were bouncing breasts, but I thought that would be less appropriate for this presentation. We talked about gentlemen, which I'm not going to explain at all. We talked about sturgeon faces, which are very popular online, and we also talked about fails, which are always very popular. So along with like countless other memes. So it turned out that people liked this Meme Factory show more than we thought they would. And we ended up getting the opportunity to do the show again and again and again in different places, and it was incredibly fun, and it was also a lot of work. Because, so the internet is an incredibly fast-moving thing, which means that the internet memes that are brand new one month are completely old news by the next month. So every show that we did was brand new. It was filled with new pictures and new ideas. And at times, we've kicked ourselves for doing that, for working so hard. But it has forced us to keep up to date with pretty much everything that we see online. So for instance, like when 3 Wolf Moon happened on Amazon, we added 3 Wolf Moon to the show. Or when Boxy happened to 4chan.
Okay, hi. Okay. My name is Boxy. Most of you know me as, well, no, most of you know me as Boxy, I suppose.
We added that to the show. Or then later when 4chan happened to Tabby.
Woo! So you guys, I got a favorite.
We were also very excited when Keyboard Cat was on the Video Music Awards of MTV. But as excited as we were for Keyboard Cat to be on the Video Music Awards, we got even more